This week on Lone Lobos.
I was at a time when I was on a wave where I was having a bunch of good sets and I was confident, and then that happened and I was just like, what? Huh? You know, like, am I funny? You know, question yourself. I had the audacity to hang out after the show. This dude walked by me, goes, practice. So they just like walked away. I was like, oh, thanks, man. Thanks for coming. My mom and dad were dating. They would go to the Comedy Store. And I took them to it, and you know, they saw my name on the wall and they were just like tripping out so hard because I was like, wow, dude, we used to go on dates here. And now our son's name's on the wall. Like, that's so crazy. You know, we get the scripted lines first, and then they'll always give me my take. And like, all right, Frankie, this one's for you.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And I love when I hear that. You know, let's go. Yeah.
Oh, this one's for me?
Me? All right. Any advice I'll give to somebody that's looking to get started on stand-up is get a solid, 5 minutes, whether you're just performing it for your pillows or in front of a mirror. And you could do that 5 minutes for a long time, you know, and then from there, you keep growing.
3, 2, 1, go!
Come on.
What's going on?
That's the intro.
Wait, but okay. Okay, we got a couple of things to talk about. First and foremost,
We're sitting in different seats.
This is yes, we're sitting in different seats.
That's how we changed it up for you guys.
Yeah, we thought this is really gonna throw people off. They're just listening right now. They're like, who is talking right now? Welcome to this week's episode of the podcast. As always, this is our free version of the podcast. We have a really special guest on today, and we're gonna do a little bonus. So if you want to check that out, there's no ads on there on the Supercast. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, man.
And with that, we have a very special guest on this week's episode of the podcast. We are very happy to introduce Frankie Quiñones, legendary stand-up comedian, actor. You might see him in This Fool. Also has a new special out that you can watch on Hulu right now.
Damn, that's crazy.
Damn, that's crazy. Damn, that's crazy. Yeah, can you give your best damn that's crazy, Jacob?
Damn, that's crazy.
That's pretty good.
Welcome to the show, Frankie. Thank you so much for coming by.
I appreciate it. That's what's up.
Dude, appreciate you making the trip down here, coming over to the Lone Lobos cave and
Cave, yeah.
the Bat Cave. Yeah, it's
Nice
it's
cave,
kind of
dude.
our little Bat Cave. Frankie, I feel like in learning about you, we have so many similarities.
Oh,
And I was like, what the heck? I think you're our first guest that I can talk about this with because we can relate. Is it true that you went to an all boys Catholic high school?
No, I wasn't all boys. It was co-ed.
Okay.
but
No.
yeah.
Okay. What?
Shell's just jealous if you know.
Oh,
I went to all
And I'm
boys.
I'm like, okay, well, never mind then. All right. What's our next bit? No,
I don't know you at all.
Well, you know, I did go. One of my close cousins went to an all boys Catholic school, and I would go to some of the events with him. But yeah, because it was funny. I mean, it was cool. I mean, but it was funny because the dances, you know, they do with the all girls Catholic school. So yeah, I went to a couple of events with him. We went to a school called Damien.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
right by
yeah.
me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my dad went there.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Mark McGuire too. Like that.
My dad got kicked out of there, but he went there for like,
Frankie, you're born and raised in LA?
Yeah, I was born in the Valley, San Fernando, and then we moved to, when I was still young, we moved to Ventura County.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I was out there for a while, and then when I was like 19, 20, I moved to San Francisco, and that's where I started doing stand-up, maybe like about 4 or 5 years after I moved up there, and then I came back to LA in 2013. Yeah.
oh, whoa.
Was this self-volunteered or did you just always know that you were funny or?
Yeah, you know what? My mom and dad always had stand-up on in the house,
Okay,
comedy. So I was inspired by that, you know, and then I found a sprinkler head in my dad's work truck, and I pretend that was a microphone, started doing little performances for them, and then I was always at class clown and all that, so nobody was surprised when I was like, hey, I'm gonna try my hand at stand up, you know, see what's up. But yeah,
Dude, did you ever watch Culture Clash?
of
growing up?
course, man, love Culture Clash.
This
This Living Color, Culture Clash, those are like
I
big in my house.
I
yeah.
feel like in kind of the California area, there's a few, you know, people that I in the generations older, you know, above me, and I definitely think that Culture Clash, unbeknownst to me, because I was taking it at a time where I didn't really know
Mhm.
how deeply political some of their stuff was amidst the funny and all of this, and
Yeah.
or just how authentically themselves they were and how that was similar to, my experience or whatnot. But they do some really cool stuff,
Yeah.
and
Real.
those guys are really cool. So who was on in the stand-up in the room?
Oh, when I
Like,
was a kid?
yeah, when you were a kid.
Oh yeah, dude. My mom and dad let me watch specials they probably shouldn't let me watch, but Eddie Murphy was one that stuck out to me because he was like, dude, he's in the suit.
Yeah.
He's got the, it's just him, the mic, and this crowd, and he was just lighting it up. I remember being a kid, like, wow, like that's so cool. Like, I wanted to do that. And then Paul Rodriguez was the first person I saw that looked like me that was doing HBO specials and stuff like that. And obviously more came after him, George Lopez and all that. But yeah, George Carlin, I remember it was stood out to me too. Yeah, a lot. Pretty much every special that came out, we watched it. Yeah.
And that's got to be kind of a trip now. I mean, you've had such an extensive, awesome career, and you've gotten to work with some of these people
Mhm.
that you've mentioned, like some of these greats in your life. What the heck is? How does it feel to kind of be in a different position? I guess getting to work alongside these folk.
Yeah, man.
Do you ever freak out? Like sometimes I don't know how you are. Some people are like, oh, I'm super cool. Like, yeah, whatever. There's some people you're like, oh, I can't geek out on this person.
Yeah, I think maybe on the outside, I'm like, oh, keep it cool, man. Yeah.
What's your name? Eddie?
Yeah.
Eddie. Oh, dude, appreciate
Oh,
you.
Eddie Murphy. Yeah. I heard of you, bro.
Yeah. Oh, I heard about you. Yeah.
Dude, good luck. Best of luck. Whatever you do.
But yeah, on the inside, I geek out. Bro.
Like-
Like, oh, shit, right there. Just like, but on the outside, yeah, how you doing, man?
Like we go back to the car cry.
Yeah.
Oh, you're not gonna believe it. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I met Mr. Incredible. Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. Do you geek out, Jacob? You don't. You just keep it real. Everyone just wants to be your friend. Everyone's just like, dude,
Yeah.
you can be.
I don't know. I think if there's certain people if I met, I would probably geek out. Like Eddie Vedder is probably someone I would.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love Pearl Jam. Like, he's someone I'll probably geek out about.
I mean, needless to say, everyone in the room is. It's always my favorite when someone comes on the show and everyone is a fan of something else, a different aspect of your career. I mean, you've gotten to do stand up. You've been an actor. You're a beatboxer, rapper. You've kind of done the gamut. I was getting to catch up on the second season of This Fool,
Oh, nice.
and I've got to just say, as someone, you put it really poignantly about how different something is, like filming with your homies, just bang, bang, bong, to a show like This Fool where you're like, all right, let's get all the coverage, all the angles.
Mm-hmm.
How long were y'all filming in that mini mart, bro? In that in this
right down
second
the street.
season?
Yeah, very close by. I think it was for, I want to say a day and a half, but no, I think it was a
No way.
full day. Yeah,
Oh wow.
and I think
Wait,
we did
two episodes in a day. Shut up. No
Oh,
way.
you mean the mini mart? Okay, no, sorry. I was thinking they were talking about Cali Mex on the one where I run into Devontae.
No,
But no,
no,
you're
no,
talking
no.
about season 2. Yeah, sorry. We'll edit that part too. Yeah, no, oof, we were there.
It was a
I think-
two-parter.
Yeah, no. We were there.
You're
I
like,
think-
a day?
Yeah, no, I'm tripping. I want to say at least for the week. Yeah,
Dude,
Wow.
yeah.
that was you have some great acting chops, I gotta say, bro. It was so cool to see you. I'm familiar with your stand-up, but it's such a cool, kind of switch to get to step into someone else's shoes.
Oh no, thank you, homie. Yeah. It was on the first season, Michael Imperioli, from the Stars,
Yeah.
all that. He was like a big help, man. He really helped me
No
elevate
way.
my game, and I didn't know what to expect. I had never met him. Some stars, or they just want to go
Yeah.
straight to
You
their
never
trailer,
know.
straight to
Yeah,
their
yeah.
set, and that's fine, But he was like, "Yo, what's up? Let's run some lines." He was giving me some notes.
Oh, cool.
Kind of like having like a free like acting class on the side, but yeah. But it's funny you mentioned the Martin though. The market. It just occurred to me. We shot at the exteriors at the spot, but they built a
Yeah.
replica
Okay,
of
so
the
we're on a
inside of
stage.
it at the stage in
Oh.
Burbank. Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah. It's kind of hard to gauge like how
Yeah.
long. we
Yeah,
were
there's
there,
no
but-
windows, no lights.
But yeah,
It's
they
just
did a good
daytime.
job of recreating the actual market.
It was. I mean, when it said "to be continued" when the episode finished, I was like, damn.
Yeah,
this is,
yeah, like they're going
this
for
is-
it. This time, yeah.
I really love the presentation of the show and the first episode of this new season. It reminded me so much of Do the Right Thing and
Oh, yeah,
the big
cool.
boom boxes going
Yeah.
and the town being like, yo, you got to shut this shit off. And the abuelo being like, no, I'm not giving up the rooster. Like it is, it's such a tastefully done show. And it was really cool to get to, see you break out. How, what are those differences between the stand-up world? Were you nervous? Did you find like, oh, actually, I feel quite comfortable here? Or
Yeah, I was pretty comfortable. Obviously the first time I was on a set, I was just kind of trying to take it all in and understand all the moving parts and stuff
Yeah.
like that, because it's obviously a different beast. I mean, stand-up's my first love, and I'm big on facial expressions on stage, and you get that immediate, feedback with stand-up, and yeah. So, and I know sometimes it doesn't always translate for people. I know great
Totally.
stand-ups that they just can't act.
Yeah.
It just doesn't, and they acknowledge that. You're like,
Yeah.
just and that's fine. But as I got more acting roles, like I fell in love with it, and I
No
was
way.
like, yeah, and I just felt more and more comfortable, and I love it. I love being on the set. I love, knowing my lines and playing with it and all that stuff, and just like, but yeah, I think they complement each other. They help each other, like the stand up and then the acting together. But yeah, I stand up's my first love, but I fell in love with acting. Yeah.
Are you much of a improver on set, or do you like to stick to? Oh yeah,
I love it. Yeah, I was like thankful that I've worked with some pretty cool directors, like flexible directors, where they let me they'll play to my strengths or let me do my thing, or we get the scripted lines first, and then they'll always give me my take. All right, Frankie, this one's for you.
Cool. Yeah, yeah.
And I love when I hear that. Yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Oh, this one's for me.
Yeah, me. All right. Yeah. So yeah, it's fun to play around like that. Yeah.
So coming from a comedic background, doing the stand up, and now doing more acting roles, what do you find you prefer more? Like, do you want to do more sort of comedic acting roles or do more dramatic stuff?
Man, I don't know.
Because they're so different.
Yeah. It's so different. I'm definitely down to do dramatic roles. Some of my favorite comedians, they had that career path. Like Robin Williams, I really looked up to a lot. And towards the end, he did so many dramatic roles and killed it. And it's just like, ooh, man.
Get Post is like my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, so good, man. And like, I'd love to do something like that. Yeah, but right now I'm just, comedy foot forward, I guess you could say, yeah.
Sick.
dude, I definitely I think of like recently Steve Carell and some of the stuff that he's been putting out. That was like a
dude.
total switch up.
Oh,
You
yeah.
watch 40-Year-Old Virgin,
And then Foxcatcher.
and then and you're
Yeah.
like, what the?
Yeah.
And you find also that it's way easier for people to go comedy to drama than drama to comedy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what they say is
For
that
sure.
comedy is a lot. I mean, it depends on the person, I guess, but comedy is a lot harder than drama. Do you find that? Like, because comedy is your first thing.
Yeah. Oh, comedy. You say comedy's harder than drama?
Yeah. That's
To
like
sell
kind of the going,
to sell
yeah.
comedy versus to
Because
like,
you watch someone
yeah.
crying, you're like, oh, I'm gonna empathize with that. I'm sad too. But getting someone to laugh, I find, is way harder.
Right. Yeah, I can see. I think you're right. I mean, it depends on the scene, I guess, or the script. But yeah, to make somebody laugh just off something you're doing, it's pretty challenging, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Have you ever? I'm always so curious about this. Have you ever just bombed?
yeah, oh yeah, man. It's
Really?
it happens to the best of the best. I've seen Robin Williams bomb. I saw Chappelle bomb. I mean, but they're not tripping. Especially Chappelle. You're just like, whatever. You're just working stuff out. But like, I think we all have that story. Like especially on the come up. It was a long time ago, but I remember I had like the worst set I've ever had, and I had them for like the first like 10 minutes, and then all of a sudden I lost them and I couldn't get them back, and I just turned into a scared like fool, just like get through the jokes and
Wow.
and then like this dude, and then like these two nice ladies, they were sitting up front, and it was so quiet in there that everybody could hear what they said, and one of them's like, "Baby, you look scared."
Oh no!
And I was like, and I
So then
what's
what's
trying
the?
to give it to my jokes?
Wait, do you have like a trap door? Do you have like
Yeah, I know,
something that
right?
you're like, all right, when it gets to this
Yeah.
point, this is something that I can. How do you dig yourself out at
Oh,
that
You
man.
point?
start beatboxing
You just-
slowly.
I feel like-
yeah. But I
Thank you very much. That's really good.
yeah, all right, I love y'all. But I think every comic has that story of like, you kind of need to go through that.
Yeah.
Because that set will always stand. It's like became a part of me, like I bring it up with me on stage now because you never know, it keeps you on your toes. And because I was just like, I was at a time when I was on a wave where I was having a bunch of good sets and I was confident, and then that happened, and I was just like, what? Huh? Am I funny? Questioning yourself. And it took me like, I called every veteran I knew, like, well, how do I get through this? Because mentally I couldn't even like sleep that night.
Yeah, that recovery must have been,
man,
just trying to bounce back from
I
that.
had the audacity to hang out after the show.
This dude walked
You're
by.
like hoping people buy you drinks. You're like, hey man, I was just up
This
there.
dude walked by me, he goes, practice. And then just like walked away. I was like, oh, thanks, man. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for coming tonight, dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
Crazy, dude. I mean, it was over. This was over 10 years ago. Well, over 10 years ago. But like I said, I take it. It's a piece of me now.
Yeah.
God, dude, that reminds me of this time. I was doing this scene where we had to, like, it was a steamy scene with my partner in the flick.
Ooh.
And I was getting a lot of notes on like how to quote unquote be sexier, this type of character.
Mm-hmm.
We finished the scene and one of the producers comes up and she was like, Xolo, that was so cute. And I was like, cute.
I want to be hot and sexy. Yeah.
Literally. I was like, I bombed for sure. I bombed for sure.
Oh, that was cute.
Like, oh yeah, that was cute. Yeah.
You're all sweaty. You're like,
I was like, I was doing Cirque du Soleil back there. What the heck? I was on the Koreans. Like,
You're just what I do with my leg back there? Are you serious?
dude. Oh my gosh. So I had to hit the books after that. Read the Kama Sutra. I was like,
the Kama Sutra.
what do I?
How can I impress her?
How can I?
Damn, that's crazy. You
Yeah.
know what else
And
is
this-
crazy?
Speaking
What?
of damn, that's crazy.
Speaking of damn, that's crazy.
The new special.
Yeah, let's talk about that new
Thank
special
you.
directed by Ali Wong. How's that? Was that good?
That's.
Yeah.
I mean, what a fantastic pull. How did y'all meet? How did y'all link up for this?
Well, we met in San Francisco. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, that makes sense.
She's from there, and then we met at the same open mic, this place called the Brainwash Cafe. It's like a laundromat / cafe, so I had like a built-in
Whoa.
audience, people waiting for their
Whoa.
laundry.
Oh, that's
And then
cool.
you're like, yeah,
Nice.
run your material. So yeah, she knew me when I started. She started before me, but then then her career just took off, and she was already down here, and I moved back down here in 2013, and then I was on the grind, was a starving artist for a while, and then things started happening, and she was messaging me like she was proud of me, like when Xolo Fit went viral, and my character work started going viral, and then then we started doing some tour dates together. And then she's like, we're kind of joking about her directing my special. And then she just reached out to me one day. She's like, yo, you want to get serious about this? I'd love to produce and direct it.
Whoa.
And then the timing kind of worked out perfect because Hulu announced they were launching this slate of stand-up specials.
Yeah.
And then, we already had a relationship because of this fool. And then, it just kind of happened organically. And then we started working on it. And I was doing some dates with her. And then, and then we kind of pieced together what the hour would look like. And then, we got to work and polished it up, and then, taped it. Yeah.
Whoa. So,
That's so cool.
Pardon, because I don't really know how the process works. What does it mean when someone is directing the special?
Yeah, that's a good question
What-
because a lot of people they be like, "Well, what's directing a special?"
What part of like?
and most of it is you're picking the camera setup,
Okay.
what that's going to look like, how you want it to look aesthetically. It's kind of making the decisions before, and then on the day, she's kind of just watching my set. Making sure I'm not missing anything that maybe
Yeah.
certain words I didn't enunciate very clearly. So we
Yeah.
picked that up at the end,
Okay.
And she has a list of things that were picked up at the end.
One
Oh,
Portland
then-
performance.
2 shows. in
Okay,
one
2
night.
shows.
Yeah.
Oh, so you do the
And-
first show, and then you have like, all right, here's a list of like some of the bits that you maybe slurred here, or like we would love
Yeah,
to.
no, you do it right there, like after the show. So it's
Oh.
kind of weird for the crowd, because you
Oh,
got they
interesting.
know, they're obviously that.
Oh, it's the
being
same.
taped.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, after each show, you pick up whatever you from that
Okay.
show, like
Okay.
maybe didn't enunciate, or maybe can you turn this way,
Yeah,
doing that punchline
we
or
missed
or
it.
whatever the case.
Word.
Oh,
And so you
interesting.
pick that up after, and thankfully the crowd was great. They were playing ball, and they were putting on the laughs even
Yeah.
after they already heard the joke. So, like, so but yeah, and then she was very hands on in post production, which was like
Yeah.
pretty incredible. She has such a great eye. I didn't know that really about her because I watched something. Yeah, it looks good. She's like, no, look at this frame. Look at that thing in the corner. You should be moving to this camera angle on this joke or whatever it was. And yeah, she was really hands on, and we trimmed out some stuff and got a nice finished product in the end. So that was cool. Yeah, she put her magic touch on it, so that was cool.
Dude.
It's a tight 50, man. It's thick.
Yeah, we just were dying laughing. Jacob watched it yesterday. I watched it with my parents yesterday.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Jordan was like, "What's that like?" Watches it with their
Well,
Well, because I was
Dude.
watching, my kid was. I was like,
You watched it with Noah?
No, I was like, I had to pause it right when you
Yeah.
the part about
The
during the
T-Rex?
pandemic when you're
Oh
when you're looking at that box, homie. You're looking at that box like
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wait, yeah,
that was a prop for 15 years, right? You never used it before, okay?
dude, once I finished it, there's a at the end I was like, oh fuck. But then the first thought that popped into my head after was, I wonder if he still owns the butt.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I just threw it out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like maybe a couple months ago. It was kind of ceremonial because
You set off a
'Cause you got a new one.
Viking funeral.
yeah, because we had been through so much together. You know what I mean? And
Oh
it was
my
just
God.
like
Bruce,
it was
dude.
like I think I got Bruce, man. I think I got him here somewhere. Yeah, there he is.
Oh,
dude,
oh my
that's
God.
way
I don't know if we can
worse
show
than
this
that
on here.
picture.
dude.
Oh no.
There's the thermos. Yeah.
Dude, why that looks like it's from
But
the
yeah.
Matrix or something.
Bruce-
bro.
Dude.
I know, homie. It's sad, but also like, hey, it's
But
real
also-
life. It's
Times
real
are
life,
tough.
Yeah.
You do what you had to do.
no.
Yeah.
You stayed safe. You stayed safe.
I was sheltered in place. Yeah, it was probably the safest thing I could have done. It wasn't having random people over.
Anything to stop the spread.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Dude,
you were,
that's
you were doing your
crazy.
part.
Anything
Yeah,
to be a responsible.
that's what.
member of
Yeah,
society.
that's what the CDC said.
Yeah.
Stop the spread.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, in your stand-up, you do get super vulnerable. Speaking of, go watch the special. If you've seen the special, we're talking about with the thermos, which is
Yeah.
And if you don't,
and towards the end, when you start talking about like some personal things in your past,
Yeah.
how do you get to a spot where you feel comfortable sharing that in front of thousands of people, like the world,
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it had to do with just obviously doing stand up for a long time. As the years go on, you want to peel back more layers and give more of yourself on there. And then just stuff that I was going through personally, it's no secret that comedians are, we got a lot of issues, substance abuse problems and stuff like that. Not all of us, but most of it, the good ones. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing. But yeah,
you gotta do it alone once to get that level. All right.
Yeah. So yeah, but it was trying to take everything from me, so I had to get right and do some work on myself, spiritually, mentally, all that. So going on that journey really helped out because I was already living that, in real life and just kind of unloading all this stuff with my family and taking it to the next level. And there was these waves going on in my family because like therapy and all that wasn't a part of our lives growing up, and it was just kind of cool to get there as a family and then they kind of share that on stage and get real vulnerable. And but the main goal is to make it funny. So when I was able to get it to a place where I was like, oh, this is funny because it's like, ooh, but then
Man,
that's the goal was, and I think we pulled it off. So
100%.
because I was like, man, should I talk about this? And Ali was like, no, man, it's funny and it's important that you talk about that. So I was like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, it was. Seeing you be so vulnerable on stage and in towards the end of your stand up, it was. I was thinking about this afterwards. It was really just heartwarming and kind of spoke to me a little bit, just of how vulnerable you could be and make it funny and make it feel okay to go through like I'm like, all right, like I want to tackle some things. Then like you make it palatable, and that's something that I thought I haven't seen before, and I thought that was really interesting and really special.
Oh, thanks for saying that, man. Yeah, the amount of messages I get, or even when I was working on the material, people coming up to me after shows, but even like people you wouldn't expect, like messaging me because I think I made them feel I took that wall down and they felt like they could message me. And then some of these people are like, I've never told anybody that I went through something similar, but I'm letting you know, like, thank you for saying that, or so it's kind of like, wow, I'm not trying to change the world or nothing. I tell jokes, but it's kind of motivating or inspiring that people are, you know, being affected in that way, and they feel like maybe they could be more comfortable opening up about stuff. You know?
Yeah, it's funny which is like
Yeah.
a great part of your
Yeah.
set. So yeah,
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, that's a really, like, it's very profound, and I can totally imagine so many of a lot of the stuff that you were talking about, whether it be your your family experience, or your COVID experience. These are all things that people can relate to on a certain level, and it is, some of the topics are definitely, I forget what that word is, but it's like there's a stigma behind it, right?
Mhm.
And especially, like, from, we're all Latinos here. Sometimes it's, I don't know, my parents always joke around that their parents were like, what do you have to cry about? Or like,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
have to be sad about? You don't need a therapist. Or like the response would be like, yo, ma, I think I got to go to therapy. And he's like, oh, so I'm a bad,
right,
so
right,
boy,
yeah.
so you're
Bad
going to go
parent,
talk
yeah.
shit about us, or
you
blah,
got
blah,
a
blah, blah,
shitty life because of me, huh?
Yeah.
And it's like, ooh, it is so refreshing to have, another place to be able to listen and talk about that kind of stuff. So yeah, kudos to you, and thank you for sharing that. And,
Oh, no.
and
Thank you, man. I appreciate that.
dude, it was. I want to see what the director's cut is, what the jokes that
Yeah.
almost made it.
yeah,
But you were like,
yeah.
oh, I don't know if this fits in the hour. How do you figure out the story? Is it okay, this is the end of the show, or is it like weeks and weeks of figuring out which jokes?
Yeah.
It's Zookeeper, then Crystal Bitch. No, man,
Yeah.
Crystal Bitch just gotta go for her. Like,
but yeah, that was a lot of workshopping, and then
Yeah.
I worked with some of my peers, and I would tape sets, and then I watch it with other comics, or I would
Yeah.
invite them to my studio and be like, yo, let's watch this through, and then they would give me notes, and then I would take different notes and start moving stuff around, and then other comics would come see me live, and
Yeah.
Ali would come when she could, and then her, she's dating Bill Hader, and he came through one
Yeah.
time. He gave me some really helpful notes,
oh,
and
cool.
so that was
Yeah.
cool, man, to get like help from people at that level,
Mhm.
because then you kind of they know what they're doing, and
Yeah.
you appreciate that they give you their perspective or what they're seeing or what they see where you can improve.
Yeah.
And so I applied all of that, and then just kept running it, piecing it together. And then one of the sets we recorded 1 hour and 7 minutes, and so it was kind of cool to be able to trim down,
Yeah.
the fat or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. But there was some really good jokes that didn't make the cut, but
Yeah.
they could end up on the next special or
Yeah.
whatever. They're just jokes, but we got it. We just wanted to make it feel like, okay, it took you on the journey, and it's a body of work
Yeah.
that is like, okay, it went all those places, da da da. And here we are, So then obviously the end, we end getting real vulnerable.
It's a
so.
roller coaster. Yeah. It's so much. I mean, yeah, great writing. It really hums. The
Oh.
pacing is real good.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask about. I saw recently you posted, or maybe you posted, or I just saw. I like going to the Comedy Store,
Oh, nice.
and your name is up on there, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucking sick, dude. Like,
Thanks, bro.
Next,
Yeah.
like, that's I can't even. That would be like if we had our hands on the Walk of Fame or something.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it's such a. How did that come about? Were you surprised, or were they like, "Hey, yo, did you get it in your email?" Like,
Yeah, no, it's just the booker just comes up to you or
Dude.
lets you know, and so you're all trying to go for that. As a young comic, when I would go there, I'd be like, see those names on the wall. I'd be like,
Literally.
dude, that'd be so crazy if I
Yeah.
ever got to that level, where I could get my name.
There's
on
all the
on wall at
headshots
the
up
Comedy Store.
there.
Yeah, and and even something that made it 10 times cooler was when my mom and dad were dating, they would go to the Comedy Store, together.
No way.
So it was like.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was like crazy for them to be like,
You're a kid.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I took them to it, and they saw my
Aw.
name on the wall, and they were just like tripping out so hard because I was like, wow, dude, we used to go on dates here, and now our son's name's on the wall. Like, that's so crazy. But yeah, that was like a dream come true, because as a stand-up, that's your name's on the wall with like the best of the best, like the best to ever do it, and you're just like, it's very like overwhelming, humbling, all that stuff, and it's just like, all right, man. Like we're here, you know. It's obviously been a long journey and a lot of work, but it's still like nothing really prepares you for that moment. You see it up there, you're just like, hey, dude. And you try not to like be all like Marsha, stare at it too long. Like just stare at it too long. But it is like there's like a moment where you're like, damn, that is wild. It's right there, like forever, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, no, we've seen some really awesome people roll through there, and it's just it's like a coliseum of comedy in a way.
yeah.
So to get to have the name up in there, that's so sick. And what we want to do stand-up comedy. It terrifies us.
Oh, you guys do?
Yeah, we definitely.
Yeah.
This I feel like this
like
is the
a duo, or
This is the right. Exactly. Yeah, sure. I play piano,
And then I said,
but fuck, I lost my fuck you, bro.
What?
I forgot what I was gonna say.
I didn't make you do the lip
both
read.
want to
Dude,
You're asking for,
Both
Asking
asking for advice on
this I
your-
feel like is our soft launch for our jokes. Like we always joke around on the pod, and I mean, Monica and Jordan are saints because a lot of it also gets cut because we're not stand-up comedians and we can't
just
joke
half the
around
things
as
that they made
hard.
on the pod would
She's
get
like
Xolo
smiling, like,
canceled,
yes, we
bro.
cut a lot of it.
It's bad, bro. It's bad.
But now it's okay.
It's
We're
good.
safe. We're protected.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He tried some on our last episode.
Oh, I did.
Oh, really?
I did try some stand-up
Oh, dude.
on our last episode.
You
What'd
also
think
try
of it?
stand up at your video shoot.
I'm consistently trying. The
Yeah.
jokes are not landing though. I gotta workshop it, like you said. You know, I gotta figure out.
I feel like
gotta
I'm a
eat.
bad person for you to test stand up with though, because I will just laugh.
We're laughing
Well,
at
yeah,
you, not at your joke.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm
I'm just
like,
kidding. I'm just kidding.
I just feel like because it just makes me laugh knowing that like you were sitting there being like,
Yeah, it's cute. It's cute.
yeah.
It's cute.
It's not like that, okay? I'm
No,
not.
like, I'm
it's
gonna
not like I'm
laugh
sitting
always.
down at the library, like, all right, here's my time to think of my jokes. I just have an idea, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of funny. Let me write down what I think is funny about it, and then I'll marinate on it.
You have really good setup so far, but I think we're just waiting.
That's
for
that-
Nice. That's a good start. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have great setups. It's just the
delivery
it's
is
gotta
not
go
there.
somewhere.
Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
How do you do you ever write stuff that you think is really funny and you're like, I could never say this on a mic?
Yeah, I think that's happened before.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That
Yeah.
literally happens to you every episode.
Well, that's why I'm asking.
Okay.
I'm like, this should not ever be public.
But you know, I'm really like, there's really there's nothing that's really
Yeah.
off limits.
But
you
that's
know?
what I'm
So,
curious.
I
Like,
mean, you see with the stuff I talk about on
Yeah.
stage. Right? It's
well,
like
so
pretty
that's why
wild.
I'm interested. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'm like, what are the?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, it's gotta be.
I'm not. I would have to try to think of
I'm
something.
like, dude,
but
he talked about the thermos. What else?
yeah. right.
What else happened?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was
the next
stuff I
special.
ain't
Yeah.
going,
But,
Dude.
but no, I've definitely like written stuff that I thought was like, you know, to I guess both your points. It was like that I was like, oh man, this is so funny. You know, like it's funny in my head, funny when and on the piece of paper, and then I go try it live, and it's just like crickets. You know, you're just like,
That's
oh,
got to be
like-
the audience, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. I mean,
you're like,
happens on set,
did you ever
though,
do
where,
that?
like,
You're a
writers are-
bad fucking crowd.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
But writers are like super stoked about a joke, and
yeah, that does happen.
I only got to do this a couple times, but when I was a kid, I got to be in a show that had a live audience.
Mm.
And on Fridays, we would do the live audience. It was so fun. And, you know, the writers every once in a while will come up with a different punchline for a joke or whatever. And it's great because the audience, it's like a new thing for them because they see the same thing over and over.
Right.
And so when you do the new joke, a lot of times you just get a laugh because it's new. But sometimes, like, there would be an alt joke that would just kill through a whole week through rehearsals. And you get to the live and it's just crickets.
No way.
Whoa.
Yeah, it's weird. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know what that is, but it just it happens, I guess.
Well, they're beholden to their audience as well. I mean, I guess you're kind of. I feel like even then the bar is kind of lowered for some of those shows as well because you're like everyone.
Huh,
It's like
yeah.
that.
Sometimes the stars don't align.
Yeah.
You know, there's sometimes when I'm getting ready for a show, or you see the crowd, and I'm like, this is gonna be so good, and then it ends up just being okay, and I'm like, oh man. And then sometimes it's a flip flop, you know. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know, see how this show goes, and then it ends up being like super fun and cracking. You know, you're just like, yeah, I don't know. So you can't explain it sometimes.
What makes a good crowd?
I don't know. Well, you know, just I don't know. They're just present with the you know, laughing at every joke. I don't know, but you know, it's not all on them. You know,
Yeah.
it's obviously everybody involved, including you on stage. But yeah, I don't know. I guess just because sometimes even a smaller audience would be better than like a bigger audience. And just like, yeah, one that's you have their full attention. They're there for a good time. They're not distracted. You know, they're just like, you know, sometimes you get crowds that are tired, or depending if it's sometimes the late shows are tired, or you know, I don't know. It's hard to.
That does
hard to
intrigue
explain.
me about stand-up comedy is that sometimes you go to a place and it's like there's the midnight show or the 11:30 show, and you're like, damn, you gotta keep people. It feels almost like like those time slots might be harder, or maybe people have like. Do you find that that's kind of the case, or is there like
you know, you learn how to adapt to those
Okay.
kind of shows, because sometimes you'll have a late set at the store, you know, and you're up there, it's like 11:30 or even sometimes past midnight, and you know, like people are you know, they're gonna be, but they're still there, you know, and they're looking at you, you're like, oh, this guy's funny, but they like their just energy is gone, but they're still kicking it. They have the option to leave, but just, you know, you're gonna be on that wave before you even get up on stage, you know, so you kind of just like will play into it, you know.
What advice do you have for the young people out there who are listening who possibly want to get into comedy? Like, what was one of the biggest hurdles you had to get over, like as you were starting, or like something that you would?
Yeah, I mean, you know, to get on stage is a you know, like any comic I'm rooting for, just because that part, like you have to have the balls to get up there. Or, you know, sorry if you're a woman, then you know, whatever. But
you gotta just
whatever. Right? Just the confidence to go up there is crazy, you know, because it's just you and the mic and the crowd. But yeah, I would say, you know, any advice I'll give to somebody that's looking to get started on stand up is get a solid like 5 minutes, whether you're just performing it for your pillows or in front of a mirror or whatever, where you feel good about it, like a good 5 minutes, and then you start hitting open mics, you know. And then, you know, you just go up there, because just getting on stage too, you got to get your stage presence is a big part too. Some people are like, their jokes might be mediocre, but their stage presence and their charisma is so good that you're kind of just like, all right, you know,
I'm here.
Like, like, all right, cool. That was funny, you know, but like, you know, they kind of get away with a little bit more, but yeah, I would say get that solid 5 minutes, start hitting those open mics, get more comfortable on stage, because the more reps you get, the better you're gonna get. You're gonna start working out the timing of that 5 minutes, and then you could do that 5 minutes for a long time, you know, and then from there you keep growing. But I say you should be looking to get to a point where you're getting yourself out there. Because one of my favorite things, I'm a comedy fan first, you know, so when I love seeing a comic I've never seen before, like kill it, you know, it's inspiring to me, you know, even though I've been doing it so long, but it's like. And when I know who they are within the first like minute or two, you know, I'm like, okay, I know who this person is, you know, and then now they could take me on whatever ride they want to take me on, because I'm like, all right, cool, I get who you are, and you know, you're doing your thing, and then so I don't know, it's cool, because there's only one of each person. When somebody's like original like that, you're just like, oh hell yeah, man, I love it, you know.
Are there some folk that are up and coming that you're like, oh, these guys are, you know, great?
Yeah, there's a handful of ones that are up and coming. And then, you know, as soon as I feel like nowadays with social media and all that stuff, like as soon as I see a comic, I'm like, oh, that guy's gonna be something. Like within like 6 months, he's already like, he's all viral. Like I'm like, oh man, like you're like, damn, he's already blowing up. But yeah, man, there's some good ones out there. There's a dude, Jesus Sepulveda. He's hilarious, man. And he does like, you know, he's a stand-up, you know, but he does like shorts online and stuff like that. But I think he's on his way. And then there's some I don't know, there's some young, I don't know, I gotta like think, but there's a lot of young dudes out there coming up that are good. They're like I love seeing like an old soul that respect the craft. Because you know, some people especially in LA in the industry, you know, they're like, oh yeah, I can do stand up, you know. I did improv, so I can do stand up, you know. I'm just like, and then they go, and it's like, whoa, you know, it's a craft to be respected, you know. It's not just another like thing. But yeah, I don't know. It's I don't know. It's fun to watch it all. Just people trying. Yeah.
It is so terrifying. You're right at that.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh, dude, when I
could
first
get-
started, I have to take like 3 or 4 shots,
I feel like
and still
it's-
my butthole would be. Oh gosh. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? I'm puckered. I mean,
Yeah.
Oy. Monica, Jordan, are there any questions that y'all had?
I mean, not so much, questions, but earlier Xolo was talking about how we all know you from different things. Like, I was so excited because I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead. So when I saw
Nice.
you on The Ones Who Live, I was like, oh my God, that's the guy from that show on Hulu. Like, it was so cool to see you there. And you kind of played like kind of a serious role there.
Yeah.
It was such a serious role. So what was that like?
Yeah, dude. When I got hit up for that, I found out one of the creators of Walking Dead is a big Creeper fan.
Oh, no
Trump
way.
fan, yeah. Which was crazy. I was like, what?
Dude, you don't know
And
where
so-
your shit's gonna like
I know,
whose
bro.
phone you're gonna
and
end
I'm
up
like,
in.
and I'm like, and he's not even. Yeah, so I was like, what? And I was
He's like, he's not. He's a white guy.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's a white guy from not here,
Yeah.
It was like, yeah. But
That's so cool.
yeah, so I had to do a tape, and then I was like, I'm not, dude. That's something I gotta get better at is
Okay.
auditions. I'm sure you're great at it, but it's like a whole different beast auditioning versus.
Especially since over
doing the real
COVID, it's
job.
now self tape and shit like that. I don't know if
Yeah.
y'all are finding that or like some of them are going back in right now, but it's such a different. Usually, I feel like you love the experience of getting to kind of win the room when you're
Yeah.
like doing an audition in person. You have this energy, there's this chemistry, or
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can kind of feel it out. With the self tape, you're just by yourself, and you're
Yeah.
like, I hope I have the right instincts, but
fucking hate self tapes.
But yeah, I send that tape in, and then within like a couple hours, they're like, "Yeah, you got it." So I think it was more of a formality.
formality.
Yeah. And then,
hey,
but,
that's
but
the way.
then-
Hey, look at you, bro. Straight to book.
Nah.
He said no callback.
Nah. But
Offer to me or I
it
walk.
was funny though, because I showed up thinking, to your point, I was like, okay, I'm the comic relief, So I spent time like punching up the lines, like being like, okay.
Yeah.
And then I showed up, and they were like, no, man,
No.
this is a serious role. Like this guy's like his, it's
Yeah.
Rick Grimes' best homie. He's gonna help him out with some crucial information.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay, so it was cool. And Andrew Lincoln was super cool, man. So
Yeah.
he really helped out. He showed up, knocked on my trailer. He's like, oh, hello, 'cause I was like, oh yeah, I forgot, duh, you're British.
I know, right? It's so weird to not hear him with that
Yeah.
like Kentucky weird Atlanta whatever accent he has.
Yeah,
It's like,
right.
so are we gonna see that story continue about how your character gave Rick Grimes that information? Now he's out. Like, what happened? What happened to you? Did you survive? Did you die?
I don't know. I'm still alive, man. That's the
Yeah.
crazy part. I know. I was like, and Andrew Lincoln said he was down to do. That when that show premiered, it was like the highest ratings that AMC had in like 10 years or something.
Mhm.
And then they started another one though. They moved on, not with Rick Grimes, but
Yeah.
I forget what it was. But yeah, I don't know. I would love to see them do a second season of The Ones Who Live. That's the name of the series I was in. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Dude, what a
totally.
good title.
Yeah. The Ones Who Live.
Yeah.
This is already is like, wow.
Yeah.
Damn, it's kind of heavy.
Yeah, what a cool title.
Oh, what? That's so cheeky. That title.
That title
Oh, there you
fucking-
go.
Bang, yeah. So Frankie, we actually do this segment at the end of every episode where we add a song to our playlist that we have. It could be a song that you've been thinking about, your favorite song, whatever you're feeling right now. Monica and Jordan, could you start us off with our song of the week before we wrap things up with
Yeah.
Frankie here in the pod?
This is it's a song from a new artist that I discovered recently. So
New artist.
I feel like he's got like he's the next wave. He's next up. On,
Really
like, on the
underground,
scene.
you might
Next
say.
up.
Next up. I'm not gonna do an accent. So.
Do a Mountie one, bruh.
Come on.
Yeah, so-
come play with us.
His name's Truly, and the song is called Leaves. It's a vibe. That's my song
Okay.
of the week.
Leaves.
Truly.
And then my song of the week while I was watching This Fool and Your Comedy Special got me a throwback song. So it's Pretty Girl by NB Riders.
Ooh,
Oh,
NB Riders.
NB Riders.
Nasty
Great
Boy-
choice.
Nasty Boy Click.
Yeah. Hell yes. It's,
That's a throwback.
you want me to go first, Jacob, or are you going to go?
Yeah, right, of course you do.
All right, so also from this fool, I didn't know that they did it. And I don't know if it's an original or if it's actually one of their popular jams.
Can we get
But
out of it?
I really liked
Popular jam.
at the end credits.
A jam.
I don't
It's a
know
jam.
if it's every end credits, but this fool has a song by Chicano Batman, and I really like that.
Oh yes, Chicano Batman. Yes.
Yes, that insert name of that song here by Chicano Batman.
Okay.
Jacob?
All right. Well, I talked about Eddie Vedder on the podcast today, so I think I will be doing "Release" by Pearl Jam. It's off of their first album, 10. That's why I pick.
And Frankie?
In Franklin.
What song are you going to add to the
Franklin.
playlist?
Franklin.
Ooh, this is a tough one here. Because no, I'm going to do no. Oh, seriously though, I'm going to do "This Must Be the Place" by Talking Heads.
Oh!
This
Talking
must
Heads.
be the place.
That's how it goes, right?
No.
Dude, what? That's a banger. No? Now that's 97? No? Okay, sorry, y'all. Well,
Let me try. This must be the place. This must be the place. Close.
No,
No.
not even close at all.
Yeah.
When you hear it, you're going to be like, "Oh,
How does it go? Sing it for us for a quick second. If you want.
home."
that's been Frankie Quiñones, bro. This has been the Lone Lobos podcast.
Last but not least, our Lobito of the week is
yeah,
Liam
sorry.
Y.
Who's our Lobito?
Liam Y.
Liam, why? Thank you
Liam.
so much for being money to this podcast. It lets us buy the lights and the microphone so you can hear our dear Franklin when he comes on the podcast.
Franklin.
Franklin Quiñones.
Franklin Quiñones.
Check out Frankie Quiñones' comedy special. Damn, that's crazy. Now available exclusively on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus.
Damn, that's crazy.
Damn,
Thanks,
crazy.
Frankie.
Oh, thanks for having me. I appreciate it, man.
This episode of Lone Lobos is a Lone Lobos production. Produced by Monica Tamayo and JMKM, with intro music by Nicholas Gray. Like what you hear? Check us out on Instagram at Lone Lobos.